Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video, we are looking at the Wave Quantum. It is time for another update, and it seems we have followed through very nicely within our expectations on this chart. Our expectations of extending still to lower prices in this overall correction. And of course, today we will be discussing more about that, why we are still looking for continuation to even lower lows, and the exact area to watch for a potential reversal, an area you might want to consider even accumulating if you haven't been so far. But before we do that, I wanted to go briefly through the larger time frame to provide the context for everyone, to bring everyone in the loop. So, on this chart, we have been tracking within our main interpretation this idea of a series of 1-2 setups, from which point we have been tracking a larger wave 3 to the upside. I want to start off by saying this is not the only possible count on this chart, but this has been our primary interpretation, and even within this wave 3 alone, we could be looking at substantially larger extensions, as I could very well consider this internal wave 3 to actually still be ongoing. It might even be preferable based on the structure we have started within this area, to have something like a double 1-2 setup, and then this to have been a wave 3, this a wave 4, and this a wave 5 to the upside. Yeah, potentially even a triple 1-2 setup. We can actually check the area of support for such expectations, but yeah, we can see we still held the 50% retracement, so even a triple 1-2 setup that would allow much further extensions in this wave 3 to the upside alone, even once we have a top within this movement, within this structure. But still, this is not currently the focus. Right now, we are still looking for continuation to higher prices within this wave 5, where we have been primarily tracking the idea of an ending diagonal, although with the development in this structure, I want to make it clear that this is able to be tracked as an impulse as well. However, I cannot dismiss the possibility of a diagonal structure, so I would still need to allow a retracement as low as the $11 level down to the 61.8% retracement, and depending on how this wave 5 unfolds, we could be looking for 5 waves instead of a 3-wave pattern. Nonetheless, even within the idea of an impulse, we still have room within the area of support down to $14.5. We do not want to see a sustained break below within that idea, and within the idea of a diagonal structure, we can allow the full support zone for this retracement, for this correction to unfold within. Now, in this structure, we have been tracking this idea of an A, B, C pattern to complete our correction. And this is actually another data point that we can use as a hint that, yeah, this could rather easily extend below the 50% retracement, and that is by tracking the ideal target for such a wave C, which is the 100% extension of the wave A. Now, with that said, we do not have to get there, that sits at the $13 level, but we do not need to reach it. We could have already bottomed technically within this wave C in white at the 78.6% extension, but we could fall even somewhere in between to actually start the reversal in the wave 5. But yes, I just wanted to outline another data point that there is risk. There are reasons to adjust your risk management plan for a break as low as the 61.8% retracement to give some extra room for this wave 4 in case it is necessary, as I wouldn't be really able to look for a failure of this structure above that. Now, in this wave C, we have been tracking the idea of a 5-wave pattern. Yes, this has been our primary expectation. And a couple of videos ago, we provided this area of resistance, maybe even before that, up to $25.2 for a wave 4 correction. We have successfully retraced perfectly into the 38.2% retracement, which is the ideal target for a wave 4. We have a proportional correction with what we had in this as a wave 2, and we have been looking for continuation to lower prices in a wave 5 within the idea of an A, B, C structure, since this pattern has been tracked as an ending diagonal within the wave C. And for those reasons, in the previous video, I provided you an additional internal resistance area to track for such expectations, where we were already looking for the wave C to have potentially started, although it wasn't necessary, and we did provide room for this wave B correction to be unfolding all the way up to $20.7 where only with a break above that would we have been really able to look for a more substantial bottom to potentially be in place. So we pushed into the 50% retracement, from which point we started extending to lower prices within this wave C. Now that this is a wave C, we can once again look for the ideal target, which is the 100% extension of the wave A that has been achieved. We could theoretically be looking to have a bottom in place, but I'm not convinced yet. You see, we haven't broken any relevant resistance levels, and if we are to consider this to be the wave B top, we would be lacking one pretty substantial low, at least from this time frame's perspective, in the area of a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. This would be our primary expectation, where we would like to see at least one more low before we would be able to consider a more likely bottom to be in place within this wave C. So in this structure, we would have one main area of resistance that could signal to us that we have the reversal coming, that this structure isn't going to extend lower within this area of a wave C, and for that I would be watching the 61.8% retracement up to $17.8, where if we manage to break that, yes, we would be able to start looking for the reversal to higher prices, but until then, there is still substantial pressure to extend to lower prices, as this structure isn't quite complete just yet. Now, I am able to track extensions to lower prices even internally within this structure, but I don't believe this to necessarily be a focus, and frankly, I would even prefer to see one more low in this wave 3, but we have already reached the larger area of resistance. We can determine based on the overall wave 4 correction and the development of the wave 5 if it is within an internal wave 3 or not, and we do not need an additional area of resistance that would be within this larger one. So for those reasons, I believe we can focus on this at the moment, and as we are looking here to build this wave 4 and this last wave 5 to the downside, I want to highlight a very key aspect, especially as we start building it and we head towards the end of it. We need to be mindful of the context, be mindful of where we are within this overall structure, because we would be looking to build a wave 5 of a wave C of a wave 5. It would be towards the very, very late stages of this structure, and sure, we would likely get the wave 5, let's say, but maybe we do not get within the ABC structure of this wave 5 the last leg to the downside within this wave C. Yeah, we would be looking, of course, for a 5-wave pattern internally within the wave C. Maybe we only see a 3-wave pattern. Maybe we get a truncation. It's a reminder that if you want to accumulate, to not wait for the last leg to the downside, yeah? Sure, it might extend even beyond what we would typically expect, but typically trying to catch the exact bottom tends to backfire. Now, I was mentioning in the beginning of this video that I would provide you a potential accumulation area. And this is again completely your choice if you want to use it or not, but I have already highlighted it in the previous videos as well. So if you remember, we have been focusing here on the 50% retracement down to $14.5, and we have been focusing here on these structural support levels between basically $14.9 down to $13.6. This is a region that would likely prove very useful in helping us create a more substantial bottom, and I want to highlight this area. I want you to be aware that within this region we would have additional support in generating the reversal to the upside. This doesn't mean we need to form the low exactly within this area. We could, for example, even break below the last swing low, the last level of structural support, and still manage to create a reversal. But it is certainly a zone to watch out for. It is certainly a zone I would consider for an accumulation area within such a structure, without this being financial advice, of course. And for now, I wouldn't add much on this. I would be looking for the structure to likely form one more low, to ideally reach the green area of support down to around $15. And then if we get a break above $17.8, we could be looking for an early bottom to be in place. But for now, we are still focusing on the extension lower, and these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and if you enjoy our content and want to support us directly, check out our channel membership And as a thank you for any of these actions, I would like to invite you to sign up to our channel newsletter, where you get access to our monthly top picks, where we identify for you high quality structures, and the link for sign up is in the description and it is completely free. Other than that, let me know what else you would like me to cover and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.